Haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Nun Aleph Amud Beis at the new Mishnah. Our Mishnah is a continuation of the previous Mishnah beginning the parak that depicted the Avodas HaKitoris. The Kohen Gadol, he took the Kitoris from the Machta, 2 handfuls, Maloi Choifnov, and he poured it into the Kaf, whereby he took the Machta filled with Gacheles in his right hand, the Kaf filled with the Ketoris in his left hand, and he proceeded to then walk towards the Heichal. Our Mishnah now continues, Hayemahalech beheichal, he walks to the Heichal. Asher magia lebein shtei haparoiches hamavdilos ben hakodesh uben kodesh hakadoshim ubeneim amo. The Kodesh is the Heichal, and further west is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. In between the separation of the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Mishnah describes, we're talking about Bayis Sheni now, is 2 curtains with a space of 1 amma in between them. The way it was situated was that there was a curtain on the outer side, the entranceway was on the south, whereby it was curled in, and then the second curtain, that was the inner curtain, was then curled on the other side, enabling him to walk through the curtains at 1 amma from the south to the north and back from the north into the Kodesh HaKadoshim towards the middle of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Rabbi Yosi Oimer, Rabbi Yosi is choylek on the Tanna Kama. Rabbi Tanna Kama said that there are 2 curtains, as we explained, with 1 amma in between. He says no. Rabbi Yosi Omer lo haisa sham ela paroiches achas bilvad. There was only 1 curtain separating between the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Shneimar says v'hivdila haparoiches lochem ben haKodesh ben Kodesh HaKadoshim, and he has a pasuk that supports him that the paroiches singular is separating between the Heichal, the Kodesh, and the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Which case the Gemara asks right away, Shapir Omar Ka'omar lohu Rabbi Yosi l'Rabbanon. Rabbi Yosi l'Chara is saying very well, according to his opinion, as he supports it from the pasuk, that there's only 1 paroiches, 1 curtain separating between the 2. V'Rabbanon Amar loch, V'Rabbanon Amar loch, they will say to you, Hani mili ba Mishkan. This pasuk is talking about the Mishkan. Indeed, there was only 1 curtain. Aval ba Mikdash Sheni, kiven de loy havoy amma traksin. But because the Mikdash Sheni did not have a wall that was 1 amma thick, as it did in the Bayis Rishon, uve Mikdash Rishon hu da havoy, v'istapko lehul Rabbanon b'kidushosei oy kilifnim oy kilachutz. Since the Rabbanon did not know, it wasn't clear to them whether the holiness of that wall was considered to be in the inside, whereby it had the holiness of the Kodesh Kadoshim, or had the holiness of the Kodesh. Va'ovud shtei paroches. Thereby they made 2 paroches, 2 curtains, with a space of 1 amma in between them. Tonu Rabbanon. The Gemara now brings a brisa that explains the opinions of both the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Yosi of our Mishnah, and adds a 3rd opinion. Tonu Rabbanon. Bein hamizbeach lemenara hayemahalech divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda, who's really the Tanna Kama of our Mishnah, the brisa says that Kohen Gadol will walk between the Mizbeach and the Menorah. Now, to understand this brisa better, we can explain now how it's situated. The Heichal has the inner Mizbeach in the middle, and to the north of it is the Shulchan, to the south of it is the Menorah. The Shulchan is 2.5 amos from the wall of the Heichal, and the Menorah is 2.5 amos from the south, which is from the south wall of the Heichal. The Mizbeach is in between, not exactly in between, but it is equidistant in between of the 2 of them. So the Bryce again says, the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda is that the Kohen Gadol will walk between the Mizbeach and the Menorah, which is on the south. Now, since we said that the Rabbi Yehuda is really the opinion of the Tanna Kama of our Mishnah, that means he understands that there are 2 curtains, whereby the first outer curtain, that is is curled inwards, allowing an entrance from the south, whereby, according to this opinion, Rabbi Yehuda, that's where the Kohen Gadol, therefore, will then enter. And since he's going to enter that way, therefore, the Kohen Gadol will then first start his trek going westwards in the Heichal, and he'll walk in between the menorah and the inner Mizbeach, and thereby he'll then get to the south curtain. The Brisa continues, Rabbi Meir Oimer Ben Shulchan La Mizbeach. Rabbi Meir, he says that the Kohen Gadol walks between the Shulchan and the Mizbeach. That means the Shulchan, we said, is on the north part of the Heichal, and he walks in between the inner Mizbeach and the Shulchan. V'yesh oimrim bein Shulchan la koisel. There's another opinion that says that the Kohen Gadol walks between the Shulchan and the wall. That means all the way up north in the Heichal, between the Shulchan and the wall itself. So we have three different opinions. We have Rabbi Yehuda, who's a Tana Kama, explaining that the Kohen Gadol walks between the menorah and the inner Mizbeach. We have the second opinion, the opinion of Rabbi Meir, that says that he walks between the inner menorah and the Shulchan. And we have the latter opinion, the Yesh Oimrim, that says that he walks between the Shulchan and the Koisel. Ask the Gemara, Man Yesh Oimrim. Who is the opinion of the Yesh Oimrim that we just said walks between, the Kohen Gadol walking between the northern wall and the Shulchan? Omar Rav Chisda, Rabbi Yosi, it's Rabbi Yosi Shita. The Omar Pischa B'tzafon Koi. He says the Pesach into the Kodesh HaKadoshim is on the north. In other words, he says that there's one curtain. This is really Rabbi Yosi in our Mishnah. And since there's only one curtain, the entranceway, meaning the Pesach, is on the northern part, whereby it gives it a direct entrance from the Heichal into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, whereby he enters from, therefore he walks from between the Shulchan and the Koisel, and then he walks through the entrance way of that curtain into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The Gemara now asks Rabbi Yehuda Omar Loch. Rabbi Yehuda will say to you, Pischa Bedoram Koi, whereas Rabbi Yehuda, he's the opinion of the Tana Kama of our Mishnah, and he says the entrance of the curtain is on the bottom, and there's two curtains. So therefore, since the entrance on the bottom, as we described before, the Kohen Gadol will walk between the inner Mizbeach and the menorah, and then he'll then enter the Kodesh HaKadoshim through the bottom, through the southern part, where the entrance to the curtain will be. Rabbi Meir asked the Gemara, Kimman, Svirole, who does the opinion of Rabbi Meir go like? Again, Rabbi Meir said he's going to walk all the way in the northern part of the Heichal. That means between the Shulchan and the wall. So which opinion does he follow? If he goes like Rabbi Yehuda, then he should go and walk like Rabbi Yehuda says, between the menorah and the Mizbeach. If he goes like Rabbi Yosi, then Neil Rabbi Yosi. He should then hold like Rabbi Yosi and go between the Shulchan and the Mizbeach. Sorry, between the Shulchan and the Koisel. Says the Gemara. So which opinion does Rabbi Meir follow? Says the Gemara, La'olam Rabbi Yosi Svirulei. That indeed Rabbi Meir goes like Rabbi Yosi. If he goes like Rabbi Yosi, why does Rabbi Meir say he walks between the Mizbeach and the Shulchan and not between the Shulchan and the Koisel, like Rabbi Yosi says? V'omar lach Shulchanos tzofim v'doram munochin. Rabbi Shlomo HaMelech, he was instructed to build 10 additional Shulchanos. 5 that were on 5 and 5, 5 rows of 5. 2 rows of 5 rather. And therefore, the Shulchanos were situated, according to this opinion, between, it was north to south. Since it was north to south, that means it would have to begin from the northern wall, in order that the Shulchan remains in the northern section of the Heichal. So therefore, he wasn't able to then walk, according to Rebbe Meir's opinion, between the mizbeach, between the shulchan and the kaisel. He had to walk between the mizbeach and the shulchan. Shulchan v'lo misayele. Again, the shulchan was blocking the entrance to go between the shulchan and the kaisel. Therefore, he was forced to go between the shulchan and the inner mizbeach. Bois Ema, another opinion explains Rabbi Meir's shita as being, again, he goes like Rabbi Yosi, that indeed we're talking about there's only one curtain, and the curtain opens up to at the north. But Rabbi Meir says you go between the mizbeach and the shulchan, not like Rabbi Yosi says between the shulchan and the kaisel. That indeed these 10 different shulchanos that Shlomo HaMelech was instructed to build, they were situated between east and west, in which case there wasn't an obstruction to walk between the shulchan and the kaisel, the northern wall. But because of the shechina, if he would then walk between the shulchan and the kaisel, he would have a direct route to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, because the entrance is on the north part of the Paroiches, whereby his eyes would be gazing into the Kodesh HaKadoshim the whole time. That would not be Derech Eretz. On top of Nun Beis Amud Aleph, that begs the question, how could Rabbi Yosi indeed say that he could walk directly on the northern part between the Shulchan and the Kaisel? Rabbi Yosi Amar Lach, he'll say to you, Chavivin Yisrael, Shelo Hitzrichon HaKosu LaShliach. Klal Yisrael is so beloved in the eyes of Hashem, they can daven their own tefillos without requiring a shliach, whereby the shliach himself is also therefore very beloved, and therefore he has the rights to then walk even with a straight path into the Kadosh HaKadoshim. Rabbi Yehuda nami neil be'menorah lekoisel. The Gemara asks, Rabbi Yehuda then should also say you should walk between the menorah and the koisel. Since Rabbi Yehuda says that there are two curtains, and the opening of the first curtain on the outer part where the heichal is on the south, so then Gemara is asking, why doesn't he then require that the Kohen Gadol walk between the menorah and the koisel? Why does he say you have to walk between the menorah and the inner mizbeach? Answers the Gemara, mashchare ma'ane. Because of the menorah, because of the lighting of the menorah, it causes the blackening that will then be found on the wall. If he would walk between the wall and the menorah, his garments will become blackened as well. So therefore, he walks between the menorah and the inner mizbeach.